For us on Thursday, highs in the low to mid 70s again. A pleasant day Sunday, though warmer with lots of sun, the high jumping up to near 80. Then mostly sunny Saturday, breezy in the afternoon, highs in the low to mid 80s. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina on the Valley's official weather station, 710 KURV.
Broadcasting from the Valley's commercial and fleet headquarters studio at PayneAutoGroup.com. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV. The Sergio Show with Sergio Sanchez. Rapid fire headlines.
It's school voucher time. Application period now open for Texas school vouchers.
Families who are selected can receive around $10,000 for private school education for grades K through 12, which can pay for tuition, tutoring, or other related costs. State officials estimate around 100,000 families may get the funding to use for next school year. While the application process is open to everyone, it does prioritize lower income and special education students. To apply, families need proof of their child's legal status, a tax return from 2024 or 25, and proof of residency. The application portal closes on March 17th.
Kristen Yates with that report. This interesting media and business note from the nation's capital. WAPO. The Washington Post announcing mass layoffs. Oh, that sucks. That's too bad. The executive editor for the Washington Post, I'm trying to look if there's a percentage here or the number of people they need to let go. Yeah, they're hemorrhaging. They're not making enough money. They need mass layoffs at the Washington Post. Yeah, maybe if you provided something that Americans would think it's beneficial or informative, I don't know, maybe do a deep dive investigative report on some of the malfeasance and waste and stuff that we need to doge in Washington. Yeah, I think folks they'd be sopping up your subscriptions. After all, you're based in Washington, D.C. So again, Washington Post announcing mass layoffs today. They did not provide a number in the write-up that I was looking at. Walmart is now part of the $1 trillion club on valuation on Wall Street. Now over $1 trillion, America's, well, actually the world's largest retailer. Mazda SUV, which one is it? CX-90, Mazda SUV under federal investigation after a previous recall failed to address a problem with the steering on the vehicle. There's a new study from Pfizer says that individuals taking an experimental weight loss medicine lost about 12% of their body weight.
The study involved patients with weekly dosing until week 12, and then they switched to taking doses monthly up to week 28. Researchers will continue with the study through at least week 64. Pfizer says the company is positioned to address critical gaps in obesity care and meet the diverse needs of patients. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
This note from Finland. Yeah, Finland. Was that German or Finland? So there's a company there that is producing glasses that would autofocus. They say it contains liquid crystals. They got a built-in eye tracker. So it's looking at your eye. What do you need? You're going to read something, it will adjust the liquid crystals. You got to see long distance, it would adjust that so you can see long distance. Fascinating. Freddie was asking, how much is it? $1,000. If and when it comes to market, be $1,000. Time's 9:43. The Sergio Show on News Talk 710 KURV. Big thank you to Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing for this hour of the program. And welcome back to the studio. A good friend, a patriot. He's right in the thick of in the fight to protect liberty and the American way of life. In fact, he's such a patriot, such an awesome patriot. I believe Broadway wrote a musical about his life. Wayne Hamilton. Wayne, back in the studio. Wayne Hamilton from Project Red, Texas. How are you, Patriot?
Good to see you, buddy. I'm not sure that's about me, but I'm sure it's about somebody.
Well,
in my
there's
family.
a movie coming out too. I'm like, who would you want to play you in that movie? So there's a movie version of
Chuck Norris.
Of
Who else?
That is awesome. Yeah, that is a Chuck Norris joke waiting to happen. Yeah. He wouldn't play you. You live the life that. Well, anyway, I'll have to work on that joke here in a little bit. Hey, what you think last night of the Cameron County Lincoln Reagan dinner?
phenomenal.
Awesome?
I mean, a packed house. Wow. Of course, everybody went nuts for the governor, for Laura Trump. It was just an incredible night for the Cameron County Republican Party and Chairman Deborah Bell. It was really good.
Everybody came together, and it's a statewide effort. We've seen this before. The last time they did a Cameron County Lincoln Reagan dinner, we had folks. Speaking of Don Huffines, we heard a little commercial from Don Huffines. He was down. He was one to help fund one of the dinners down here. Yesterday, Patriot Mobile. I cannot say enough good things about the good folks at Patriot Mobile for providing sponsorship. And so when it came to the auction items, the silent auction items, the tables, they put a lot of money in the piggy bank for the war effort.
That was one of the best silent auctions that I think I've seen, and really a well-run program, and a bunch of excited Republicans there.
And they're going to need the money because now Cameron County, like Hidalgo County, we have a permanent HQ now, and the work is clear. We must win. We can't rely to see what happens normally in a midterm election. Absolutely not. Oh, hell no. We cannot lose the U.S. House. And we're fighting uphill now because in Texas, so they redraw the districts. Those districts are going to they're going to have to fight for those districts. There's unique issues related to the primary races and who's running on the Democrat side. California, they got 5 guaranteed Dems that are, they were going to fight, and they're sending 5 more Democrats to Washington. So in Texas, we have some heavy lifting to do. Voter registration, we need a lot more volunteers. We need a lot more funding for the campaigns. Got to push the vote out. We cannot have a District 9 Fort Worth Senate seat.
That's right.
Fiasco happening. Only 15% of voters showed up in District 9 Senate seat in Fort Worth. That cannot happen. So I was trying to drive home the message last night. If you voted for Donald Trump, pay attention, boy. If you voted for Donald Trump in the last election, you better vote November. Otherwise, Donald Trump loses. We lose the House. Forget the next 2 years.
That's right. We whether it's a local election or a congressional election or a Senate election, you got to have people to turn out to vote. And we look at what happened in SD9, and quite frankly, Republicans stayed home. And when Republicans stay home, it wasn't the Democrats did anything really phenomenal. It's just Republicans stayed home. We grow complacent. We think that we hear the news. We see what happens in Texas. We see conservative Republicans get elected, and we get complacent. And that should be a warning shot for every Republican in the state. We can't, if we're going to take new ground, we have got to maximize our vote. If we're going to hold what we have, we've got to turn out to vote.
Wayne Hamilton with Project Red Texas. For folks that are not familiar with what you do, you and your friends do, tell me about that organization.
Real quick, and we were formed in 2018. Governor Abbott I ran Governor Abbott's campaign in 2014. In 2018, he came to me and said, "Hey, you like South Texas, you like the border? Let's start an effort focused on local candidates, county judge on down." That's what we've done. We started with 31 counties, and we're slowly whittling away at that, but we help recruit and fund local candidates, and that's what we're doing now.
The bullpen for the GOP is fattening up. It's nice to see people who are genuinely concerned about the direction of our nation. Many folks have woken up, and now we got a bullpen, local races, state races. We're developing good candidates. It's nice to see, compared to the desert, the GOP desert that was the border many years back, we got a lot of people on the ballot. The March primary, which reminds me, Robert Cantu, our chairman in Hidalgo County,
great chairman,
he's saying, "Serge, we need to message as often as we can the fact that there are a lot of people tuning in right now, just good folks, good Americans, and they have in mind that they wish to vote for a particular candidate, and let's say running for District 40 or running for District 41 State House. They know them personally, but they're going to wind up making the mistake on Election Day primary. They're going to wind up going to the Democrat primary, thinking that the person they know is on the Democrat side. Wake up, people. Pay attention. You need to vote. If you're listening to this radio station, you are conservative, you're business-minded, you're liberty-minded. There's a reason that this frequency appeals to your ear. you need to be voting in the Republican primary, and that way you won't get lost. Because there's an example. Robert was telling me there's people that came up to me after the election, said, "Oh, I went looking for it. I couldn't find it on the ballot. You went to the Democrat side. You got to vote Republican. Get out there."
And a lot of times I've seen this, people standing at the door say, when you walk in, turn and go to the right, or turn and go to the left.
Yeah.
And then don't even give them a chance to vote in the Republican primary. We have to be vigilant. We have to be determined in our vote. We have to be determined in our participation, because there's others out there that don't want us to have that participation.
In Hidalgo County, the Republican and the Democrat primaries will take place under one roof again. I know they ran them alone there for a while. They went on their own, but now they're under one roof. So Democrats can see the Republicans showing up to vote, and vice versa. Know that there is political competition. And again, know who the folks are, find out who the folks are who are running for the very important state house seats.
Competition is good. You'd mentioned school choice here a few minutes ago on one of your ads. And, school choice, that's what it is. It is competition among education. In the same way, we need competition at the legislative level. We need competition at the local level. And without competition, people grow complacent. They think, nobody's going to run against me, and or nobody's going to oppose what I'm doing because I've been here for 20 years, 30 years, however long that incumbent has been there. And it's time. It never hurts us at any level to stop and look at ourselves. Perfect example, up in Zavala County, we have a guy named James Lopez, unbelievable young man. He's as hyperactive or more than I am. It's unbelievable. He is. He just looked at the situation there in the county. Says we're paying more and more taxes every year, and we're getting less and less service. And he says, I look at the Republican side, and nobody's running against the incumbent, so I'm going to. So he stepped up and he's running and working. And I told him, I said, get you a big chief and a husky and write down every name of everybody in your precinct that you know and go visit them. That's what he's done.
From Project Red, Texas, Wayne Hamilton here at KURV, someone who's working for a living right now and maybe feels the call. Yeah, we're all busy people. I know. And I know it's a huge sacrifice. That's why I say everybody who runs for office, I always tell them thank you. It is an enormous sacrifice.
It really is.
In the 10 years that it's taken us to get from opening up a permanent HQ in Hidalgo County and getting candidates and volunteers, and then the war effort during a campaign, the block walking that Adrian Pena Garza and Aaron, all these people did for so many cycles, all these candidates who lost on the political battlefield. They were defeated and killed on the political, but it takes a lot of races, but you gotta be there. You gotta allow the voters a chance to make a choice. And all of this time, thank God for Donald Trump, because he got us over the hump. We had the teams, we had the system already in place to get it done. But somebody who's listening right now is saying, maybe I should dedicate a season of my life, school board, or I don't know, state rep or something. How can you help that business person, that professional who wants to get in the thick of it and serve for a season of their life? How can you help them?
Well, I'll tell you this: school board, city council, and look, even volunteering to serve on like a planning and zoning committee or a park and recreation committee is something that people, if you feel a calling, those are great places to start. Project Red Tech's focus is on partisan races from county judge on down. Mm-hmm. And so whether it's a county commissioner, justice of the peace, constable, county treasurer, those are the races that we focus on. I do not get involved in legislative races. I do not get involved in congressional races.
It's only county then?
It's
pretty much county.
County. But, a lot of those candidates that run at the county level for commissioners court and everything, they start as city council people or school board. And I urge people, if those are things you're interested in, go to the city council meetings, go to the school board meetings, learn what's going on. You don't have to be controversial. You don't have to be confrontational. You don't have to be go along to get along either. You can be your own person. And I urge people to be their own person and don't let others tell them what to do. Listen to everyone, excuse me, and form your own opinion.
District attorney, county, that's a weak spot. George Soros discovered that if he can, and he has in many big cities and many markets, many counties, he's bankrolled the campaigns of soft on crime, Marxist minded, just get him out of jail as quickly as possible. This societal justice, this justice movement that they have where, because of past wrongs, we're going to make things right by letting criminals grow. This just stupid mindset. Yeah, when you focus, Project Red focusing on county races, even the district attorney, the prosecutor's office, that's one that you need to pay attention to. You need to get in there somebody who's going to protect the community and enforce the law. That's one of those key races that you need to look at.
I'll tell you a quick story up in Reeves County, up at the top of the Panhandle. We couldn't find anybody to run for a district attorney that was letting pedophiles walk, it's a horrible situation. And you'll recognize the name Sarah Stogner, who has been kind of a thorn in the side of the Railroad Commission for years. But we called and talked to her. And when she realized the level of human trafficking and child molestation,
exploitation,
she stepped up and ran, and she won big, and she's putting the bad guys in jail. And I appreciate what Sarah's doing.
Excellent. Okay, there you go, people. So if you're thinking of JP race or maybe county commission, judgeships, local judge, all the courts that are in the county, district attorney, county clerk, all those things. If you're thinking about running for one of those posts, that is where we're still weak. We have a lot of candidates running for state rep. We have a lot of candidates for Congress. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you all of you who are running on the Republican side, conservative side, to make sure voters have a choice. Yeah. But at county, because unfortunately the way, for example, just on the commissioners, the precincts, they're drawn so that McAllen, Mission, Edinburgh are divvied up. All the conservative vote is sliced up, and the rest of the precinct goes to the Democrat. And it's heavy Democrat. It's the way everything is lined up and sliced up in the county, but we still need people there.
That's right.
Because I think taxation is the property tax is the issue.
It is the issue.
And I'll point to an example. Don't be afraid of running for a county precinct seat and messaging a powerful DOJ-based, low taxation, cut property tax, change the property tax model. Don't be afraid of it as a conservative, as a Republican, and run on that. There was a fight several years back to create a taxing district in Hidalgo County for a hospital district. It lost. People said initially, the supporters said, because of poor messaging, because it was down ballot. It lost barely. But once they came out and said, this is a taxing entity, a hospital district, Democrats, and I know this because of the ratio of voters, the number of voters, by a 7-3 margin, Democrats came across and defeated that new tax by a 7-3 margin. So they're out there. You go for that heartstring, go for that signature issue, and they'll come over to
That's the issue, taxes.
Demand that county government be responsible for the money that they take from us, the wealth they take. Yeah. Thank you for stopping by, Wayne. The website for Project Red.
ProjectRedTex.com. Follow us on X at Project Red Tex, and that's Project Red TX. Same way on Facebook.
Have you eaten some good Mexican food while being down here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
That was the first thing I did.
Yeah, you're too skinny, man. You need to eat more of that. Come and see us again.
Thank you.
Wayne Hamilton from Broadway Hamilton fame. Wayne Hamilton, actually. Project Red, Texas. The Sergio Show on 710 KURV. Thank you to Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing.
It's the Drive More, Pay Less event at Toyota FAR, and the savings are better than ever. Drive off in a Tacoma for just $95 a month, or a Tundra for only $295. That's more truck, more power, and more value for your money. Visit us today at 1625 West Interstate 2 in FAR. Shop online at toyotafar.com or call 956-815-2285. That's 956-815-2285. Toyota FAR, son buena gente.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part, they accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
If you're in the market for a new Toyota or pre-owned Toyota, look no further than Toyota Afar. They have an extensive selection of Toyota cars and Toyota SUVs and Toyota trucks, along with exceptional customer service every step of the way. Call 956-815-2285.
Audio streaming on KURV.com. Powered by South Texas Buick GMC, McAllen Mission.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
VapoCool. History's unfolding, and you're listening to it on News Talk 710 KURV, Edinburgh, McAllen, Harlingen, Brownsville.
ICE is doing its job with more local cooperation. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
We're taking a lot of bad people off the street. Everybody should be grateful for that.
Borders Czar Tom Homan, now in charge of controversial immigration enforcement in Minnesota, says that new unprecedented cooperation means he's reducing the federal force there by 700 while also urging protesters to stay peaceful.
The less rhetoric and hate we see and the less attacks means we can draw down even more quicker.
It is a mix of ICE and CBP agents immediately leaving the Twin Cities region, Tom Homan said, after he reached an agreement with state and local officials to have county jails notify ICE of criminal aliens before they are released back onto the street so federal immigration officers can get them while they are still being held in custody.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House.
The president still intends to effectuate mass deportations. Anyone in the country illegally is still subject to deportation, but the focus of this surge is criminals.
Democrats still call that enforcement out of control after confrontations with protesters and deadly shootings, holding up Homeland Security funding, pushing for ICE reform. The man accused of shooting 2 National Guard soldiers the day before Thanksgiving in Washington, D.C., killing one, was in court this morning.
Rockmanola Lockenwall pleads not guilty as federal prosecutors are not taking the death penalty off the table. 20-year-old Sarah Beckstrom died from her injuries, while Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf is still recovering after being shot in the head. Wolf recently posted on social media he's grateful to be alive, and while the recovery has been challenging, he says he's thankful for the prayers and support.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz. A sentencing hearing is about to start for Ryan Ruth, who could get life in prison after being convicted in the second Trump assassination attempt. President Trump just posted on Truth Social he had an excellent phone call with China's leader, saying they had a positive discussion on everything from trade to Taiwan to Russia and Ukraine, as U.S. brokered peace talks resume today, trying to stop their war. America's listening to Fox.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. After my husband died, the last thing I wanted to think about was money. Ethos made it affordable to get life insurance. Signing up was fast and 100% online. I knew that I could pay our mortgage and have food in the fridge. I could focus on my kids. No one ever tells you how much you're going to depend on that policy. I am so grateful we had coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.